One day I just woke up and said, I'm going to start making videos. I don't know why I did, but here we are. When I was younger, I used to have a lot of issues, regarding being confident within my own skin, being comfortable with the clothes that I had on, or how popular I was, or whether or not I looked better than the next person, how much money I had. My lips are a little chapped, by the way, so let me go ahead and add this. And for a while, I didn't really know why. And I feel that that's something that a lot of people, especially in my age range, seem to struggle with nowadays. Just the concept of being confident. I see a lot of people constantly comparing themselves to people who they see on social media. People posting these superficial photos and videos of the best moments of their lives. And it's easy for someone to, just constantly look at those things and compare themselves to what they see on a day by day basis and become unhappy with who they are as people. It's easy for them to get lost in the concept of FOMO, just missing out on certain things that they may not have in their hands at this very moment. I don't have this car that this person has, or I'm not going on these vacations, or I'm not working this job that this person may have. And for the longest, that was something that I myself struggle with pretty deeply. And it's something that even to this day, I still find myself struggling with. That's something that can be pretty damaging to one's mental health. It can make you feel like, you're not as worthy as the next man, or you're not on someone else's caliber of humanity, or you're less valuable than the next man. So, not too long ago, I started really questioning what is confidence. I started reflecting on a lot of things that were really holding me back. As a kid, I put a lot of stock into other people's opinions. I would always devalue my own opinion, and as a result, my entire self worth pretty much revolved around what other people thought about me. We put so much stock into something as basic as, does this person like me, or what does this person think about my outfit, when in the grand scheme of things, it does not matter. I had to start asking myself, like, why do I really care about, at least to that degree, what other people think about me? Why am I so obsessed with trying to get on everyone's good side? I felt my identity withering away day by day. I felt that a lot of times I didn't even really know who I was as a person. I noticed that as I started becoming more and more confident, I just stopped caring, bro. I just started realizing that at the end of the day, when I look in that mirror before I go to sleep every night, the only person I see in there is me. And if I'm not prioritizing myself and working towards impressing myself and making myself better than the person I was the day before, what am I doing this for? Losing sleep, wondering why so and so looked at me a certain way when I saw them out in public. But then I really started asking myself, where does that come from? Why am I so obsessed with the way people perceive me or the things that people might be saying about me if it ain't affecting my cash flow or my well being? And every time I would ponder upon this question, it always came back to unresolved trauma. Whether it may have been childhood trauma or trauma that was more recent. And I feel like a lot of people are walking around with that on their spirits. A lot of people are walking around with a bunch of unresolved issues. I think that it all just really comes from the insecure child that lives here, that has never been brought true reassurance. But then I also realized that with the rise of social and digital media, it's been pretty easy for everyone to become secluded. It seems that to a much larger degree, we've all become pretty isolated, at least compared to our ancestors, definitely compared to our ancestors. And alongside that, very unmotivated as well. Due to the luxuries of us being able to just scroll on our phones and compare ourselves on social media all day. And I feel that that's one of the biggest modern antagonists to confidence. But it's sort of a dilemma in a way. The reason that people don't have confidence is because a lot of times they don't have the drive or the energy to get up and make things happen in their lives. But in order to have the drive and the energy to get up and make things happen, you need confidence to some degree. But as time progresses, as time moves forward, I think that one has to realize that the universe does not care if you have confidence. And that was actually one of the most liberating facts that I've come to realize, bro. Just knowing that life moves on. The universe does not care about what clothes you're wearing or what kind of car you drive or how popular you are. It just exists. It doesn't care. Life just quite literally moves forward, no matter what we do. And biting the bullet and just getting up and taking risks that you may not usually take that in itself will build confidence. Kind of going back to the first point, one thing that I really struggled with growing up was the ability to stand up for my own principles, my own beliefs, or just stand up for myself in general. I really lacked that edge, and that played a pretty big role in my lack of self esteem. Possibly the biggest role, honestly. I felt like throughout my entire life, I was so obsessed with staying in the good graces of other people's perceptions or opinions about me, and I would allow myself to be put in situations where I was belittled or mistreated, and obviously, this in itself would have a major impact on anyone's self esteem. And that's when I realized true confidence comes from being able to, really stand up for yourself and being able to stand strong on your own principles and your own values, regardless of what people around you or the masses may feel like. And once again, you'll never know how to find true confidence if you don't know how to put yourself first. If you just allow yourself to be a doormat and live under the wing of someone else. And I ended up realizing that even if it meant separating myself from certain colleagues or people who I may have grown familiar with, sometimes you just have to do what it takes to put yourself first. Everyone that we coexist with on this planet pretty much exists on the same frequency. Behind all of the materialism, behind all of the popularity and, the status, we're all pretty much playing the same game in this life. As I started really paying attention to these things, I began realizing that my life is actually really worth a lot more than I previously thought. Started realizing that I can't lose myself in order to make everyone else happy. If I'm not happy, if I'm not content with who I am, or if I'm not satisfied with who I am, what am I really doing this for? If I don't even know who I am, or if I don't even know the things that I love myself, how am I living a fulfilling life? How am I living a life in which I can truly refer to myself as happy and confident? You know, we can either live this life hindered by our own traumas, obsessed with what other people think, afraid to take risk, or we can finally take control of our lives and work towards doing things differently, even if we have to take smaller steps before bigger leaps. I started realizing that no one is above me. And some people are better at certain things than I am, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that their value as a human being outpaces mine. You just got to realize that your life has true value in it, even if you don't see it at the moment. And you're worth it. And you got value living within yourself, man. Your life matters. All right, I hope this video didn't come off as me rambling because it was pretty much off the rip, but peace.